Hello, welcome everyone to this webinar on SAP Customer Checkout. My name is Richie Gawkin. I'm a technical consultant with Milner Brown. Before we get started, I'm just briefly going to cover who we are at Milner Brown. So we are an SAP Gold partner who focus primarily on SAP Business One. We support over 25% of all of the SAP Business One customers in the UK and Ireland. We have implemented business solutions for over 400 organisations. So whether it's industries from manufacturing, retail, wholesale and distribution, or services, whatever the industry, we have been there, we've solved the problem, and we've implemented the solution. We have, as a business, we've received a number of awards, both externally from outside companies. For example, last year we won the Deloitte Best Managed Business in Ireland award. We also have received a number of awards from SAP themselves, such as the fastest growing partner, the most new customers, the most new SAP HANA implementations, but probably the one that we're most proud of as a business is the most satisfied customer award. We like to think that we do a good job, but we are certainly very proud when you, the customer, tell us that we are doing a good job. On the flip side of that, of course, if there's something that we aren't getting quite right for you, we're more than happy to take that feedback and work towards doing a better job there. Finally, just about Milner Brown, we are proud to call ourselves innovators. So while we implement the SAP Business One solution, we have made some innovations over the years to enhance the product. First of all, we have a suite of enhancements to Business One called B1 Apps. So B1 Apps solves many industry-specific problems that necessarily Business One won't do out of the box. So whether you have an additional need in manufacturing or wholesale and distribution or in the services industry, we have a B1 app that will fill that gap. In addition to that, we have a new range of products which are branded at Enterprise. So these fall into two categories. We have an analytics suite and a portal suite which will allow you to interact with Business One but outside of Business One. And we also have a range of mobile apps which will bring the power of Business One to your mobile, so you can have full insight as to what is going on in your business at all times. Okay, so with regard to SAP Customer Checkout, so before we actually get in and have a look at the software itself, what we're going to do is we're going to have a brief overview of what is required to run SAP Customer Checkout. SAP Customer Checkout is not a complex solution in terms of implementation. The product itself is very easy to implement, doesn't require a huge effort, and the rollout can be very, very simple. We will cover the actual functions of the software itself. We'll go through and have a look at how to process some transactions, some payments, and exactly what you can do with the software. And as we go through that, we'll be able to go and see firsthand what the benefits of the solution are. But the key benefits that we would have is if currently, for example, you already have a point of sale system in place, and whether or not you're using Business One already or whether you're thinking of becoming a Business One customer, really bringing the two areas of ERP and your checkout operation together is going to allow you to see everything in real time. So you're going to be able to analyze your sales up to the minute. You're going to be able to have complete visibility over what your stock position is. If you're ready to go through a purchasing cycle, you're not waiting until the end of the day where somebody's manually inputting all of the transaction data from your EPOS system into your ERP system. This is all happening in real time and is fully integrated. Okay. What is required to run SAP customer checkout? So there's 4 different components that we would consider implementing for you in your solution, and depending on exactly what your business scenario is would dictate which ones of these would be relevant to you. So first and foremost is the checkout application itself. So it's designed to run, really well designed to run on a touchscreen EPOS system. So obviously there has to be some hardware for the machine to run on. And as you can see from this image here, the system does fully integrate with displays where there is not only the main display for the checkout, but additional displays perhaps that will tell the customer what price they need to pay, some other sales message that you would like to appear on there. Also we'll have full integration with receipt printing, with cash drawer control, so opening and closing that, and finally as well full integration with a credit card terminal. So if you have a system whereby you're processing all of your sales transactions, then in a separate card terminal, then rekeying the amount of the transaction and processing that separately from your EPOS system, what SAP Customer Checkout can do is bring that all together. So you would simply process the transaction as normal, then you would send the transaction to the card terminal, the amounts would go to the card terminal, the customer inserts their card, puts in their PIN, and it returns back to Customer Checkout saying whether or not it was successful. In the background of that, we obviously need the ERP system. So at Milner Brown, we only deal with SAP Business One. SAP Customer does link into other SAP ERP systems, but this will be the one that we're focusing on today. Another optional component of SAP Customer Checkout is the Checkout Monitor. So while this is optional, we would certainly recommend that as part of any solution that the Checkout Monitor was installed and was enabled. The function that this provides is as transactions are occurring on the SAP Customer Checkout, these are then synchronizing back into the ERP system. So for example, if you had some problem whereby, let's say, an item that you were selling, someone made inactive in the main ERP system, then there would be a problem when the transaction occurs in the ERP system. It would simply have an error. So what Checkout Monitor does is it looks at all these transactions and it checks for which ones have failed, so that you could make sure that the integration between your ERP system and your EPOS system is always correct at all times. The final component, again, which is optional, and whether or not you would need this, again, would depend on your type of business and the way you would like to roll out Customer Checkout, is the checkout server. So what this does is this allows things like your users to be synchronized across not only one instance of Customer Checkout, but several instances. So for example, if you had a retail store where you maybe had 3 or 4 checkouts and you wanted your employees to be able to log in and out of any of these checkouts, Checkout Server would certainly be a good option for. Similarly as well, when we look to deal with vouchers or gift cards or that type of thing, we would certainly recommend that you would install Checkout Server in that case. What this would allow you to do is issue a gift card from one checkout, but be able to use that gift cards at any one of your checkouts within your organization. Okay, so I think now we should get in and have a look at the actual checkout software itself. Okay. Okay, so here we are at the user screen, and I'm being asked to enter my details here. So there are a number of ways that we can do this. We can, if we had a keyboard installed as part of the EPOS system, we could simply type in the details there. We can use this numeric keypad below here, so I'm going to choose that option. And finally, the other way of logging in is by a barcoded ID card. So we can use any one of these methods to go and log into the system. Okay, so I press the login button and I'm presented with the main sales customer checkout screen. Okay, so I'm going to run through each of these areas, describe what everything does here. So really the first part that we would need to go and look at is the item selector. So naturally in any EPOS system we're scanning barcodes of products, so we can do that. If I, for example, I'll type this in, I don't have a barcode scanner here, type in this barcode, it finds the relevant product for me and brings it up as part of the sale. If the barcode didn't scan, perhaps it was damaged, I can simply go and click on the search icon here and I can look through and say, okay, this is the product here that I'm looking for. I select that one and it's added to the sale. If I had a large suite of products and I wanted to go and search for the product that I'm interested in, or perhaps it doesn't have a barcode, we can do that here in the search box. So if I type in rainbow, for example, click on search, I can see there all the rainbow products and I can go and select the relevant one that's for me. We also have an advanced search as well. So this lets you go and search on specific characteristics of the product. I can choose description here. I can, for example, go and type in this barcode 12345, click on search, and in the results it will give me a list of all of the products which meet this criteria. So it's very easy to find products, whether you're using a barcode scanning solution or whether for your particular business this is not relevant to you, in which case you could be easily searching for items which come from your ERP system and are synchronized with the customer checkout simply by either using the basic search or by using the advanced search. Okay. One good feature we have as well, as you can see for this item here, A00001, a JB Office Print 1420, we have this one set up so that we can actually see the image of the product, which can be quite useful for from a number of perspectives. Number one is something being incorrectly labelled, especially with high ticket value items. We would certainly want to avoid a situation where you're selling something which costs £300 but it's been labelled up as something which costs £100. Certainly a quick and easy way to lose lots of revenue, but by having this image in here, that could simply act as a warning to the salesperson to say, okay, the thing I'm selling here or the thing I'm scanning doesn't necessarily match up with the image I have for it on the system. And secondly, from a security perspective, it's not unheard of in a retail environment to have someone perhaps switch the labels and try to obtain a discount of their own making and perhaps put a tag on for an item that's of lesser value. So again, from a security perspective, it just acts as another guide to the salesperson to say, okay, does this match up with what I'm selling? Okay, so that's the item list. Just going to cancel this one off here. We'll have a similar scenario with business partners. So in this scenario, by default, the way that customer checkout works is we have one particular business partner set up almost as a default business partner. So this would be useful in the case where all of your sales are to customers. You don't necessarily know whether they're repeat customers. They certainly don't have an account with you as such. They just come into your store, they buy goods, and then they leave. So what we would do in this case is we would set up one generic business partner, in this case called direct sale, and all of the transactions that happen in the store would go through this one business partner. But if you were, let's say in another scenario where perhaps you had a trade counter, perhaps you're a builder's merchant and you have particular accounts that you have set up with the people that you trade with, as well as dealing with the retail customer. So we can actually process transactions and tie them specifically up with a customer's account. So the way we would do this is we would either simply type in their account code. If we don't have that to hand, we can go and search for them in pretty much the same way that we just searched for the items. So we can search for them by name, and again, if we wanted to do an advanced search, for example, we could go and search for them by postcode, for example. So if I type into the postcode box here, 37FD, this will return to me a list of all the customers that I have with that postcode, and in this case there's only one, and it's this customer. So to select them, I would simply double click on there, and now this sale relates directly to this customer. It also tells me the price list that is relevant to this customer. So for those of you who are new to Business One, perhaps you don't have it implemented yet, you're thinking about having it implemented, we have the ability in Business One to set up multiple price lists and have those price lists tied in with a relevant customer. In addition to that, we can also give discounts by default. So this is setting up in advance. We can say, okay, for this customer, they will always receive a discount from us of a certain amount. The customer may receive a discount across various different item groups. They may receive a discount on very specific items, so only items X, Y, and Z. We may also set up discounts over different periods of time based upon different quantity breaks. There's a lot that we can do in terms of giving discounts in SAP Business One. So the key point is that these prices are synchronized with the SAP customer checkout. So we're really avoiding a case where you have a special trade customer, they come in, they have prices already agreed. SAP customer checkout will recognize that. It will give the appropriate discounts to your specific customer and take care of all of that. So there's no looking up what the specific terms are. It's all done, it's all integrated within the system and taken care of. In addition to that, what we can do is we can give ad hoc discounts within the SAP customer checkout itself. So if I go and choose another product here, let's have some of that, this one. So we can see the price for this customer has come up as $293.75, but I would like to give them a 10% discount. And what the system will do is it will go and calculate the new price. Oh, sorry, this is a fixed amount. So in this case, we're given a fixed amount discount of £10, and we're asked to specify a reason why we're given this discount. So in this case, we could say it's goodwill, but it could be any reason, and these are definable by you, whichever reasons you would like to use to record against why discounts have been given. Okay. So that will go and calculate the discount. It will calculate the relevant percentage and give us the end price. What we can do also as well, which I tried to do a moment ago, is give a discount by percentage as well. So we can simply, by clicking on the discount percentage box, if I want to give a 10% discount, it will go and calculate the new gross amount for me. Again, I need to go and choose a reason why I'm giving this discount, and then I could go OK, and that will go and apply the discounts in here for me. So there's a lot of flexibility in what we can do within the ERP system itself, and what we can do within customer checkout also. Okay, another feature that we'll have in customer checkout is the ability to amend descriptions. So what's happening here is this product A00005 has the description from the ERP system, rainbow color jet 7.5. For some reason, whether or not this would apply to your business directly, the ability is there. We have the ability to go and change the description to suit whatever your customer would like to see it on the receipt. So there's also could be a business requirement around this as well, which would be, if let's say for example we had this and we wanted to say, okay, this is an X display product, we can go and enter that in here, so that now becomes part of the transaction as well. And you know this could be perhaps the reason that we're giving the discount on this item. So this would let you record whether or not something was an X display item and justify whether the discount was given, which certainly for traceability purposes could be an advantage for your particular business. Okay, so as well as discounts on the individual line items, we can also give a discount across the whole order. So in this case it works very, very similarly to the way that discounts work on a line basis, except it applies to everything. So if I was to give a 20% discount on or £20 discount rather on the whole order, it would go and reduce it by that certain amount, and I would go and record the reason that I was doing it yet again. The percentage is worked out. If I wanted to, I could do it by percentage as well and say, okay, I'll give a 5% discount there, and then the new gross amount is worked out. So we can give discounts at line level, we can give discounts at the order level, and we can go and take care of any one of these scenarios and record everything that's going on. It's important to note though, and this is probably a good time to speak about the different permissions, but we can control who can give discounts and who cannot give discounts. Okay, so in SAP Customer Checkout, I'm logged in here as the administrator and have full access to all aspects of Customer Checkout. But there are 19 different configurable permissions, user permissions within SAP Customer Checkout. So these are things like, as I mentioned, with the ability as to whether you can give a discount or a percent discount or not, whether you can do things like open the cash drawer without a transaction occurring, whether you can process returns, whether you can do things like actually just go in and change the unit price, which I'm able to do here because I'm the administrator, or whether you need to stick to the one that's set up in the system, and whether or not you're able to go and execute the cashing up procedures and record the fact of whether additional cash has came in and out of the till, perhaps to go in the safe or into a separate cash drawer. All of these things and more are configurable on a user level. Okay, so as we go down, look past the totals that we have, which are simply a sum of the items that we've sold already. We have an additional few buttons down here. So this button here is just a static button that we can use to go and apply a fixed discount amount, again depending on the permissions that we would have for this specific user. So if I were to click on that, it applies a 10% discount to the order. Okay. This one relates to returns, which we'll come on to in a moment. And again, if you're already familiar with SAP Business One, you will know that in any sales transaction in the system, whether it's a sales order or through to an invoice, you can specify a salesperson for that particular order. So if you're working in an environment where your commissions are important to you and tracking who has sold what, and applying commissions based upon their sales, this is going to be a really important feature for you. So to choose a salesperson, I have this one defaulting to me, but I can go and choose a different salesperson in this case, should someone else have made that sale. Click on OK, and the salesperson gets updated with who I've just selected. So the key is this information again synchronizes back into SAP Business One once the transaction is complete. Okay, so we have the sale here now. Now we need to go and finish the transaction. In other words, we either need to take payment for this, or we need to go and put it on the customer's account. So let's start with a very simple scenario. We'll just take payment for this one. Okay, so if I click on this button here, this will ask, this is a payment and it's a payment in cash. The most ideal situation that we can ever have is the customer has the exact correct amount of change, in which case we can say OK and finish. It will go and process the, well, I seem to have, yep, he seems to have paid a lot more money than what he was due there and is due a lot of change, so let's ignore that. I also have set up here an emulator which emulates two things: the receipt printing capability, but also the cash drawer capability. So this is representing that the cash drawer is open and the receipt has been printed. So if we're going to have a look at this receipt here, we can see that we sold two products. Both of them are the same, except one of them has X display in there. We can see the discount information that we put into the customer checkouts. We can see the total amount of cash that was given, which, apologies, that was a key typing error from me, and the amount of change that we've given out of the cash drawer. Okay, so once that's printed off, we give the receipt to the customer. We would then go and close the cash drawer, and then we would be ready to proceed with our next sale. Okay, so I'm going to go and do that, and let's look at a few different methods of paying. So I'm going to select another item. I'm going to put in the barcode this time 12345. Now, I have set up in my database this barcode rather, relating to more than one item. In that case, if that ever applied to your business, what would the system would do would say, okay, this relates to more than one item, choose which one it is that you're actually selling. Okay, and so I'm going to say in this case it's this top one here. Okay, how many of them is it we are selling? Well, I can say that it's 3. There's no need to scan 3 individually. I have full control over what quantity I would like to sell, which again should be in the system. Okay, so we have a total for this one now. Again, we're going to go and choose cash, and if I enter 400, it's going to show me that there's an additional balance owed to the customer here of $39.98. Now I have options here. So as you saw the last time, I can press OK, and I can go and give the customer their change, the message that would go and appear through the process as normal. I've also got other options as well to pay out using different methods. So if I click on Pay Out By, I'm presented with a list of options, which are options that I've set up. So here I've set up voucher. I can go and issue a voucher to the customer for that particular amount. I can issue gift cards, but the key point in SAP customer checkout is it is actually a true multi-currency checkout solution. So I could be operating with both selling and issuing payments in as many different currencies as I would like. So if you work in an environment which some of the larger retail stores have been adopting, where you want to sell something both in euros and in sterling, you can absolutely do that in customer checkout. What you can also do is manage cash for two currencies, or more than two currencies, as many as you would like in customer checkout as well. So it would be quite a strange situation in here, but should the customer wishes change to be issued in euros, I can simply go down and select that and go and issue the change out in euros. The key here is we can be choosing the exchange rate that's actually used to go and decide how many euros we would like to go and issue to this customer. So I would guess 9 times out of 10 you would be choosing a rate that was favourable to you to give the customer the additional convenience of being able to pay in more than one currency. Okay, so I'm just going to come out with that and cancel that for a moment. If the customer says, okay, at this point I actually wouldn't like to pay you £400 cash, although you've already keyed it in, it's simply a case of saying, right, let's go and cancel that there. So for the moment, that payment method has been cancelled. Say, right, okay, I would rather pay you on my credit card. Okay, excellent, no problem at all. So we click on the credit card icon there. We can choose which type of card is being used to pay, or is it going to the card machine. So we can select that and we can click on OK and finish. Now I don't have a credit card emulator or anything like that set up in this solution, but what would be happening at this point is SAP customer checkout would interact with the card terminal. It would be sending to it £360.02 of a value, and all of the validation, the dialing up the bank and everything else like that would be handled by the credit card processing terminal itself. When that card terminal responds back to SAP customer checkout saying everything has been successful, we would then proceed on to the screen where the sale happens. It goes through, the cash drawer would open so that you can take your copy of the receipt and store that, and it would ask you to close the drawer to continue. So that's I'll click on here now to close the drawer, and we can go and get on to the next sale. What we can also do, I'll pick up another item here. We could also accept payments of more than one method. So here we have a sale that's happened for £300. The customer says, right, I'd like to pay half cash and half card. We can absolutely do that as well. So we say key in £150 for cash, and click on OK, and then we can process the remainder. So the system already recognises what the balance on the order is, and we can then go and process the remainder of that by card. And again, click on OK. We can see the balance there is 0, and we would simply click on OK to go and process that sale, add it into Business One, and now we're ready for our next customer. Okay, so one other payment method, since we could be dealing with trade counter scenarios, regular customers, really anyone that you would like to note within the customer checkout solution itself, we can put payments, or we can use payment terms with these customers. So essentially sales that are on credit. Okay, so again, let's go and choose another item. This time we'll have this one, and let's put another one on here as well. So we'll have these two items, £675. Let's go and find our customer now. So again, they don't know what their account number is. We couldn't find it by using their name. Perhaps the spelling was slightly awkward, so we'll type in the postcode again, M73FD. Let's try that again. Okay, so we'll find our one customer here. We'll choose them as the customer. So because this is a payment on account, we go to this last payment method that we have here. So we're presented with a slightly different screen here. We can be going and we can have a default payment method for this customer, or we can simply go and choose one of the existing ones that's been set up in the system. So in this case, I'm setting the 14 days, and we could put some notes around this. Okay. We can click on OK and finish. And again, there's no change due because it's a payment on the customer's account. Okay. And we'll close our cash drawer. Excellent. Okay, so as I'm processing all of these sales and the corresponding payment, what's actually happening is these are being posted directly into Business One. So an invoice is being created in the background and a corresponding payment, and the two are being reconciled so that there's no open items left in the system. But what this is doing is allowing you the complete visibility over what's going on sales-wise and with your stock position as well, so that should you need to order, or should you just want some insight into exactly what's going on in your business through all of your stores, if you have multiple stores, through all of your individual checkouts, you can completely have total insight as to what's going on there. One other area that SAP Customer Checkout handles really well is the ability to issue vouchers and gift cards and that type of thing. So in order to do that, let's say for example, it's customer comes to us and says, do you offer gift cards? We can say yes, absolutely we do. We would, oops. Okay. So this one's for taking the payment. So we'll go on. Sorry, there was one more area that we would I need to cover first, which is returns. So occasionally customers will return goods because they're faulty. If you have a policy within your store of having a sort of seller return or a peace of mind guarantee or 14 days to return something, we can totally cater for that type of scenario as well in SAP Customer Checkout. So there's a few ways to do this. Obviously the most ideal is if the customer already has their receipt. So if that's the case, we can simply take the receipt, and if I just go back to my receipt emulator, you can see that each receipt here has been set up so that the receipt number has this corresponding barcode. So you could be using your barcode scanner to simply scan in the receipt number. If that wasn't possible, or the customer didn't have the receipt, we can start to go and search for the receipt here. So again, like on items and on business partners, we have the ability to go and search over many different things. So we can, if we have the customer set up for a particular transaction, we can search by that. We can search up by amount. We can search on many different criteria there, or we can just actually go and browse through the list and find the relevant transaction that we're looking for. So for us, let's say this customer here wants to go and return one of these items. So this is the one that we looked at earlier, the X display and the regular item that we sold. And they're happy with the X display one, but they want to go and return the regular one that they bought. So simply go and click on this button here. Quantity to be cancelled, 1. It's only 1 that they bought. In fact, the maximum amount that they can return here is 1. And again, like discounts where we need to go and give a reason why it's happening, we can capture that information when it comes to returns as well. So the reason that they want to return this one is it's changed mind. In this case, again, we can set up whichever reasons you would like. We click on OK here, and we can go and issue a payment out to them if it's a payment, or we can choose another method. So for example here, we might want to use a voucher or a gift card, or should we want to pay them out in cash, we can do that. We certainly have the option to go and do whatever method suits the business best. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay, so in the case, let's say for example, when we have a gift card scenario, it wouldn't really apply to this customer because we deal with them on a credit account basis, but let's say for example we have a customer who wants to return something, it's damaged but they don't actually have their receipt. So it may be your store policy where you would say, okay, we'll not give you the cash back, but we'll give you store credit for it. And this is what this voucher system would do for you. So you can either, if you have a pre-printed voucher set up that you would use, or you want to just note the details on the receipt and use that as the voucher system, we can do either or. So the key thing is that we need an ID number to identify this one particular voucher. So let's say we use the number 777888999. Okay, and what this does is it will go and issue a gift card onto the receipt now. So when we're happy with that, just close that return selection, and we'll click on OK this time now to finish the sale. We have this set up so that a particular voucher paper is used in conjunction with the printer, so it's asking us to insert that special paper so that we can go and print off the relevant details of the transaction, of the voucher, the amounts, etc. So we'll click on OK. It says it's printing, and we'll look at the last print that was made there. Simply the receipt element, and we can see all the information. So we could see that this was returned, all of the discount information, and so on there. And we could also see as well that the gift card was issued for this particular amount. Okay, so we'll close the cash drawer and get back in. So if the customer came back to us and wanted to go and use that voucher, that's obviously something that they can do, but the SAP customer checkout keeps track of all of these, all of the vouchers in the system, and how much of them's been used as well. It's not just a case where all of the voucher value has to be used. If we have a voucher for £200, the customer can use £50 here, £100 there, and another £50, and SAP customer checkout would manage what their balance is on that particular voucher. Okay, so let's get selling one of these, and for argument's sake, we'll sell this for 100 since it's less than the value of our voucher. Okay, so the customer hands over the voucher. We would, if the voucher has the ID number on it, great, we can simply type that in. If not, we can go and search for the particular voucher that we're looking for. So ours was 777888999. So when we search for that, we get the results. Here, so we can see the original amounts and the remaining amount are the same. The customer hasn't spent any of their voucher yet. So we would like to go and use this voucher now to pay for this purchase. And we can see that in the payment method box here, the voucher has came up as the payment method. So we're happy with that. We'll click on OK. Again, we'll close our cash drawer, get on to the next transaction. So when the customer now comes back and tries to purchase something else, let's charge them the full price of 300 this time, and they want to pay with their voucher again. We'll go into the voucher button here. We'll search for the voucher. Okay, so let's go back to here and click search. So we can see now the remaining amount, because the customer's already spent £100, the remaining amount is only 155.37. So that's the maximum that they can use in this case when it comes to using that voucher for payment. So we still have a balance that the customer would need to pay, and again they have the option of paying this as cash or on a card. So we're going to have the balance paid by cash here this time. One other feature that we have is the ability to go and use these money buttons. So here I have a 10 and a 20, and I can keep pressing these buttons to match the amount of cash that the customer has given me, or I could just simply key it in, or by using these buttons on here. So let's say the customers owe us 155. Let's just keep pushing that until we get to 160. We'll press OK and finish, and we'll owe the customer 15.37 change. And we'll go and close our cash drawer again. So that's the cycle of using up the vouchers there. There's one final aspect that I would like to cover of SAP customer checkout, and that's the ability to park, or you may be more familiar as a layaway terminology when it comes to processing sales. So if you're in the middle of a sale and the customer's forgot their wallets, left out in the car, or for whatever reason you want to go and still record the sale, still record all the items that you've had on there, but you want to go and take payment for it later, we can do that as well. So if I choose another item and hit on this park button here, that will go and park that now for me to resume that sale later. So in order to do that, I'm simply go and look for the receipt number. This was that I done for £225. I quickly go and select that, and now I can go and take payment for it from the customer on their card. Okay. And it's as simple as that. It's fairly straightforward. Just close the cash drawer again, and we'll get back into the customer checkout. So these are some of the sales functions that we have in SAP customer checkout. If you're looking at this and you think, okay, great, that's probably 90% of what we need the solution to do from a sales perspective, but there's another 10% that's absolutely essential to our business that it doesn't do. I would suggest in that case, come and speak to us, because if you're familiar in any way with Business One, you'll know that the architecture allows to have add-ons and customizations and enhancements written for the solution. SAP Customer Checkout is no different. So we've worked with a number of our retail customers in order to develop additional functionality. So for example, if your business sells products where, let's say, some of them are age restricted, and you need to go and be checking, IDs or something like that when making sales for these, so ideally you're looking for something to be popping up to your sales advisor saying, okay, we need to check some ID, verify the age, that type of thing, then the SAP Customer Checkout does not do that out of the box. Okay, there's some limitations from that perspective, but by using the additional plugin functionality, those are the type of enhancements that we can make. So I would say if you're at the stage where it's ticking most of the boxes for you, but there's a few areas where you're not sure whether it's going to be suitable for your business or not, come and speak to us. We would like to hear from you, see what those problems are, and see if there's a way of us closing that gap for you. Okay, so there's a few, just to finish off, a few more areas of SAP customer checkout that I would like to look at with you. And that's really around after we've processed all the transactions about how we go and manage the money that's actually in the till, and what we do when it comes to closing and cashing up and all of those type of scenarios. So again, we can control who has access to these. You may want to restrict this to your supervisor level, perhaps your management level employees. Okay, but the first area that I would like to go and look at is the cash in, cash out feature. So this is, let's say we get to a stage where it's been a busy day, we'll have a lot of cash in the till, and we'll want to go and take some of that out and put it in the safe. Okay, so we would simply select the cash out. How much would we like to take out? £300, and it's going in the safe. Okay. Cash drawer opens, we take the £300 out, and we go and take it to the safe. So what SAP Customer Checkout does is not only is it synchronizing the business partners and the items and all of the prices from the ERP system, it's also managing how much cash you have in your drawer, or what you should have in your drawer, and factoring in things like cash in and cash out. So we would calculate all of that up when it comes to going to the cash desk closing feature, which we would do next. Okay, so this is really happening at the end of the day or the end of the shift, and we need to go and now account for how much cash we actually do have in the till. Okay, so I'll click on next step here. So this is all the cash relevant transactions that's happened today for this checkout. So I'm going to click on next step here. So what it's asking me to do is provide the amount of each denomination that I have. Okay. Now you can see this one here is in euros. What's going to happen is it's going to ask me to provide each denomination of money and card payments, etc., etc., for all of the currencies that I have the checkout set up for. Okay, so for euros, let's say I don't have very much here. I have about 150, and I've maybe got some coins as well. And so I'll just go and enter these here. Let's say euros isn't the main currency we operate in; it's mainly sterling. So we click on next step, and now we're on to the sterling. And we'll have the relevant notes that exist and the relevant coins that exist for sterling as well. So let's say we have a lot more of these, and so on, and we keep going on until we had the full cash that we had in our till accounted for. So we'll have some credit card payments as well for £500, and so on until the whole thing's complete. So we go into the next screen, and we would have an overview of both currencies, what the actual is, and what the target was as well for each of these payment types. And we could also look at that as well by individual currency that we have set up on the system as well. Okay, so one other feature that we don't have set up here is the ability to have more than one cash drawer. So we can have one point of sale terminal, and if you had a scenario where, okay, you're happy for employees to share the point of sale because of course they can use their individual logins, but each employee has their own cash drawer, where we can cater for that in SAP Customer Checkout as well. Simply we would one point of sale can control more than one drawer, and we can go and close up and choose which one we're closing up and go and capture the amount of cash and the denominations that we would have in each of those. Okay, so we could, when we're happy we've entered that, we would go and print off that report, and we could be choosing to the amount to remain. So obviously when you have a particular cash drawer, you don't necessarily want to take all the cash out, you want to leave a float for the next day, so you can be choosing to do that here as well. Okay, and the final aspect is the cashing up screen. Okay, so the cashing up screen is the report that we would have, which would go and show everything that we should have in the till. So this could go and be printed off using the receipt printer, and when it comes to go and reconciling, does the cash match up with what we should have? This is the report that we would use. Okay, so I hope that's given you a good overview of SAP customer checkout and some of the functions and features that we have in there. As I said earlier, if there's something that perhaps you require in your business that SAP customer checkout doesn't do, please speak to us. We would be more than happy to hear from you. And just in general, if you would like to know more about SAP customer checkout, please come and speak to us. We would be absolutely delighted to speak with you, find out exactly what your requirements are and how we can help you solve the problem, really. Okay, thank you everyone for watching this, and I hope to speak again with you soon.